in case you have questions or comments or things that came up to your mind while I was talking, please feel free to share.
Um, yes, perhaps one question that
Sure.
I had in mind while you were speaking. It's I don't know if you have experience also with like speaking directly with the clients and the clients that live in couples. So
Mm,
you have two different characters, two different people, two different opinions, two different mindsets
mm,
to create one space for them. And sometimes they can get compromised, and it's usually always about some kind of compromise. But some of the clients I have experienced that they're very, very different. And this I find very problematic. I always try to find for every one of each of them to find its corner, its space that they feel themselves. So the other part, it doesn't disturb them or
mm.
doesn't influence them. But I don't know if you have any idea how to deal with this, how to make a dialogue with this kind of people to provide them the space that they both can feel in well.
Well, you just brought a very interesting case scenario, so to speak. What I would do, I mean, what you said, it's I guess the first thing that will come to my mind as well, to provide for both of them uh, a separate space. But of course, this is not always possible to do because maybe the space is not big enough, so you can really have a space where they can be. Uh, in my experience, there's always one of the two people that have a stronger, how can I say, interest in how the interior will look like. So they would make it clear that they want a certain wallpaper or a certain sofa or whatever. And the other person will be maybe less vocal about this. The truth is that they will eventually end up in the same sofa, end up in the same room. And I mean, of course, you can fix them in the sense that whatever personality they have, that has nothing to do with the space itself. The space is supposed to accommodate as much as possible, obviously, both personalities. We already know that we can make everyone happy, and they will have to compromise. But it's also true that a kitchen is just a kitchen, right? And to expect to make to expect something else from it, it will be kind of naive from their side. But I think when you have difficult clients like this, uh, again, this class is probably I'm not saying it because of this class, but I say this all the time. The interior design needs to be a little bit of psychologists as well. And the problem that I see most of the time is that people don't know what they want. And definitely they don't know physically, like in the interior space, what exactly are you supposed to do? They ask you, okay, what is your solution to this? When people don't know what they want, but they only know what they don't like, for example, oh, I don't like this. I'm like, yeah, I know you don't know what you know what you don't like, but that's not helping me. Although it is in a way.
Mhm.
What you actually need to do is that first of all, you need to understand as much as possible uh, uh, if they have some sort of reference. You can show them, for example, hey, what do you think about this? And then you get a feedback, right? People usually can tell you if they like or not something that you show them. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to tell them what are you going to do, test it, so show it to them, like, okay, I after we spoke and after you told me blah blah blah, I feel like you will like something like this. In other words, you need to basically force them to tell you what they eventually want. And if they don't know what they want, you need to basically decide for them. So you have to
Ah,
show them, like,
okay.
I would like you to look at this and tell me what do you think about it. So they will give you a feedback for sure. They would not just say, oh, I don't know. I'm like, just tell me what do you feel. So that helps you to be in a position where they cannot blame you anymore because you came up with an idea, you show it to them, they said, yeah, okay. Because that's the other problem when people don't know what they want. They drive you crazy because you are trying to, you have a timeline. You have to fit, you have to move on with your life and your work. So you can't really waste your whole life with this kind of stuff. which most of the time, of course, are private clients, residential projects. These are the things that drive you crazy in interior design. Because when you work for a corporate office or whatever, it's much, much more simple with clients.
Yes.
So you need to basically, that's my only advice, you need to force them to make up their minds. At least for the time being that they're working with you, they need to come up with
Mhm.
something. They need to say yes to something.
Mhm.
Because if you expect them to tell you eventually what they actually want, that's never going to happen.